Okay, so last class we have been talking about what inheritance and all the points. Okay, all the points we have in inheritance. Okay, all the points we have in inheritance. We have been talking about this inheritance. Now, today I want to give you the idea types of inheritance. Sir. Types of inheritance. We have already seen what is inheritance. Okay, the definition of inheritance, code reusability. Now, today is what types of inheritance. Types of inheritance. Sir, Java supports only two types of inheritance. Java supports only two types of inheritance. Java supports only what? Two types of inheritance. What is the first one? Single level inheritance. Single level inheritance. Okay. Single level inheritance means what? Single level inheritance means something. Let's say I have a class. Assume that I have a class. What is the class? Let's say A. A is the super class. Assume that A is the super class, and let's say we have another class. We have another class. What? Another class B. We have another class. What's a B? B is the subclass. B is what? Subclass. So one superclass, one subclass. Then this that in comes under the category of what? Single level inheritance. Then it comes under the category of what? Single level inheritance. In single level inheritance, what we have, sir? We have one superclass, one subclass. Okay. Now come to the another part, sir. Another is what? Number two is what? Multi-level inheritance. Okay, what is the number two, sir? Number two is multi-level inheritance. So number two is what? Multi-level. Multi-level inheritance. Okay, multi-level inheritance. Multi-level is a single word. Multi-level inheritance. Now inside this multi-level inheritance, what will happen? We have what? Let's say A. We have what? Another class B, and we have what? Another class C as well. Okay, another class C as well. So the first one is what? Let's say A. This is the A class. This is a super class. B is of course B is a subclass. B is a subclass for what? A, but B is the superclass for class C. B is the superclass for class C, and B is what? Subclass for what? Class A. Okay, so we have what? Three classes A, B, C. More than three also, it's possible, no problem. Okay, so only it supports two kinds of inheritance. Remaining all different kinds of inheritance like hybrid inheritance. Okay, these all are inheritance. These those inheritance can be created by using these basic inheritance. Okay, so Java purely supports only what two kinds of inheritance. What is, sir? Single level inheritance and multi level inheritance. Sir, Java does not support multiple inheritance. Now, what is multiple inheritance? Try to understand. Which Java does not support. Java does not support multiple inheritance. What is that? What is that? Let's say here we have a what class A. Here we have a what class B. Okay, and here we have what class C. And C class is taking the features of what A class, and C class is also taking the features of what B class. So this is not supported in Java. Okay, this is not supported in Java. Java does not support multiple inheritance. Okay, remember this. Java does not support what? Multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Okay, so Java does not support multiple inheritance. Does not support multiple inheritance. Now I will tell you why it is not supporting multiple inheritance. I will tell you why it is not supporting multiple inheritance. And one more thing, there is a concept in Java called interface. There is a concept in Java called interface. By using interface, we can achieve multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance is possible in Java, okay, but not possible with classes. Java multiple inheritance is not possible with classes. We have a separate concept called interface. By using interface concept, we can achieve multiple inheritance in Java. Okay, by using interface concept, we can achieve multiple inheritance in Java. So please take the screenshot of this one. So we have two types of what inheritance, that is single level inheritance and multi-level inheritance. Please take the screenshot, single level inheritance and what multi-level inheritance. Single level inheritance and multi-level inheritance. I hope it's clear. Is it okay, all of you? Please write in the chat window so I can enter in the programming part. Yeah, fine. Now let's see. Sir, I'm going to enter in the programming area. Okay. So first we will see the program on single level inheritance and then we will see the program on multi-level inheritance as well. Okay, let's see. Sir, let's say, let me create one folder for inheritance. Okay, please wait. So today we are going to write our program on Eclipse IDE. Okay, let's say. Meanwhile, if you just revise those points, okay, if you just look at those points, sir, deriving a new class, okay, from what existing class in such a way that it will acquire all the features and properties of what existing class. It is one of the most important feature which provides what, sir, code reusability. Code reusability means what, sir? Write once, run anywhere. Sir, we have a keyword called extends through which we can provide what, sir? Inheritance. We have a keyword called extends through which we can provide what? Inheritance. Okay. So yeah, this class was done on Sunday. So the recording is available on my YouTube channel. You can, if you have any doubt, you can see the recording. Sir, now using inheritance relationship between the classes is what, parent and child. According to C++, the parent class is called base class. The parent class is called base class and the child class is called what? Derived class. But in Java, the parent class is called superclass and the child class is called subclass. Remember, in Java, we have superclass and subclass. Okay. Using inheritance, all the features of superclass, except of course private, all the features of superclass is by default available in what? Subclass. So subclass need not to start the process from what? The beginning onwards. Okay. Then we have what? Some generalization and a specialization concept. And inheritance provide two kinds of relation. One is what? Is a relation. One is what? Has a relation. Okay. So this one we have seen. Now here let's say, sir, file, new, Java project, Java project. Now what I want to do, sir, I want to inherit, inheritance, inheritance. In this next, finish. Okay, so this inheritance folder is created. Now right click on SRC, sir, new class. Sir, let's say the class name is what? Single, single level, single level EX. Now I need a main method. Click on finish. Yes. So we got this single level EX. Now here I want to write a very simple program for inheritance. A very simple program I want to write for inheritance. Just listen. If you have any doubt, please ask. Just look at very simple program I want to write. Sir, first what, sir? Let's say I have a class A. In this class, what we have, sir? Let's say we have two variable x comma y. Okay, int x comma y. Listen, int x comma y, they are not declared as private. Even if you want, you can declare it as private. Once you declare this variable as a private, okay, once you declare this variable as a private, it is not visible in the subclass. The variable we can't use in the subclass. Okay, variable we can't use in the subclass. Remember, listen this point very well. So now we have a function, let's say public void input. Public void input. Now here what I'm do, for you, if you want to take the input from the user, that option you have also. If you want to take the input from the user. We have what? A scanner class. Scanner SC is equal to new scanner. You know that. Under that, what, sir? System dot in. System dot in. Correct or not? Yes. Now, better to import. Sir, import java.util. Okay. So, import java.util.scanner. Now, sir, what I want to take, sir, I want to take the value of x and y. Correct or not? Yes. So, what, sir? Out, enter the value of x. Enter the value of x. Enter the value of x. Whenever you are accepting value from the user, it is always a better practice to write what? System.out.print. Okay, so it will keep the cursor in the same line. Now here look at x is already declared. The type of x is what? Already I have defined the type of x is integer. So what I can write, x is equal to, sir, sc dot, remember, next int. Sc dot next int to read. To read what? Integeric value, and after reading I am storing it what? Into the x variable. X variable. Now, what is next, sir? Next, you can copy paste same, enter the value of what? Y, enter the value of y. Here I want to accept the value of y from the user. Sir, x and y value we have accepted from the user. Okay, so in this class, what I have done, sir, in this class, I have declared x and y variable. Those are declared as private. Okay, now we have an input method. In this input method, what I'm doing, I'm taking the input from the user. So the value of x and y initialized. The value of x and y, what's that? Initialized. Okay, now let's see. Let's see here, public void, or do one thing, if you want to use this show method in another class, okay, just remove this or make it protected, sir, make it protected. Okay, because I want to use this variable in another class. Okay, just make it protected. Only the restriction with private, sir. So now let's say I'm writing what, sir? Class B extends what, sir? Extends A. You know, extend is a keyword through which we can provide inheritance in Java. Now here I have a method, public void show. I want to display. I want to display the value of x and y. Okay, public void show sys out x value is x value is sys out x value is, I want to print what? X. Now same sys out y value is y value is what's up plus y. Correct or not? Yes. Now x and y is visible, sir. X and y, look at it, is not showing any error. It is not showing any error. Why? Correct or not? It is not showing any error. Public void so. Now, sir, we have a class A and we have a what? Class B. And let's say if you're declaring this variable as a private. Okay. Now look at, again you are getting error here. Look at what it is saying, sir. Change visibility of x to what? Protected. Change visibility of x to what? Protected. Are you getting my point? Change the visibility of x to what, sir? Protected. Okay. Why? Because once you declare these variables as private, the scope of these variables are what? Limited to class A only. The scope of these private members are accessible within the same class only. Private members are accessible within the same class only. That's why it is giving you a compilation error, and it is giving the first option, change visibility of x to what? Protected. Okay, so if you want to use two variables in another class, then what? Compulsory we need what? Declare protected. Okay, now I will tell you what is public protected default. Don't worry. So sir, now look at, in the A class we have two variables, one method, two variables x and y, and one method. And these all properties and features, these all properties and features are already available in class B. Why? Because class B is extending from class A. Class B is extending from class A. That means what? All the features and properties except private. We don't have private. We don't have private. Okay. So that means what? From line number 5 to line number 14, everything is available in class B. Everything is by default available in class B, sir. Okay. Everything is by default available in class B. Listen this point very well. This is what inheritance means. This is what inheritance means. So all these highlighted features is by default available in WhatsApp class B. Okay, so now we have an option to create the object for class A, and we have an option to create the object for class B as well. Class A and class B. Okay. So if you create the object for class A, you can access what, sir? You can access, of course, you can access this X and Y variable after calling this input method. Okay. Or before, if you are accessing, of course, you will get what? A default values. Default values. Why? Because these are instance variables, sir. I hope you remember. Default values given by what? Compiler. X is equal to 0, Y is equal to 0. So you can access what? X and Y and input function. With the object of A, you can't access this so. With the object of X A, you can't access this so. But if you create the object for B, if you create the object for B, what the benefit you will get? You can access this X and Y, you can access this input function, and even you can access this so. Why? Because each and every member in the super class is by default available to, sir, B class. Is by default available to which class, sir? B class. Yes or no? Yes, sir. It is by default available to B class. So happily we can create the object for B class. Correct or not? Happily we can create the object for B class. Happily we can create the object of B class to access all the members. To access what? These variables, these methods. Okay, we can create the object for B. Now let's say. So B of B1 is equal to what? Me of B. So we have created the object, sir. Look at B of B1 is equal to what, sir? Me of B. Now I can happily access all the members. Even I can access X and Y directly, no problem. But let's say we have what? Input function and so function. So what I'm writing, sir? B1 dot input and B1 dot so. Yes. B1 dot input and B1 dot so. Now when you run this program, look what you are getting, sir. Look at. So first it will demand the value from the user. So enter the value of x. Let's say the value of x is 123. Enter the value of y. Let's say again 123. Okay, 123. Or let's say 223. Okay, now x value is 123. Y value is what? 223. So you can see a very simple program I have given you, sir. Very simple program. I have just declared two variables. Those variables are initialized with this input function. The main purpose of this input function to taking the input from the user. The main purpose of this input function is what? Taking the input from the user. Here I have used the scanner class. So I took the input from the user, and we have another class B where we have a show method to display the variable data. Simple program. Simple program. So now please take the screenshot, sir. Up to line number 15. Yeah, I can see one question. What, this one? No, let me say nothing is coming, sir. You have already used this SC. You have used, yeah, there is some unique ID. Look, okay, some warning, some add suppress warning, like if you want to add like that. Okay, just what it is saying, it is a resource. Actually, you will come to know this is in method overriding concept, sir. In method overriding, we have a separate concept called annotation. Annotation, okay, annotation. Annotations are introduced in Java from JDK 1.5 onwards. So, okay, that's why it is a resource, sir. It is a resource that is a warning it is giving. But if you remove this, nothing will happen, sir. Okay, it doesn't make any sense with your program. Okay, just a warning because that is a resource, sir. That is a resource. So I hope up to line number 15 you have taken the screenshot. Now moving ahead, sir. From line number 15 to, yeah, just wait, sir. Okay, from line number 15, you can take from line number 15 to 29. Line number 15 to 29. Line number 15 to 29, and then we have only two brushes, sir. After this 29, we have only two brushes. The program is clear to all of you. Just take me once, just clear me. Is it clear to all of you? Is it okay? Just write in the chat window so I can move to the next program. Okay, fine. Okay, that's nice. Now look at, this is a very basic program, sir. This is a very basic program. Only I have seen you that how to, basically we are merging two classes, sir. If you what is inheritance, basically you are merging two classes. Okay, you are merging. This class is already developed by someone. B class is just what, reusing that class. B class is just reusing this input function. Okay, correct or not? Yes, sir. It is correct. Now let's see one real time example, sir. Sir, what is one real time example? Try to understand. Look at, listen very carefully, sir. Let's say let's say there is an organization, sir. There is an organization. Okay, there is some organization is there. Let's say some organization is there, some XYZ organization is there, sir. Organization, sir. In this organization, XYZ organization, or let's say some TCS company is there. And in this TCS company, sir, we have two kinds of employees, sir. We have two kinds of employee. Okay, one is casual employee and one is permanent employee. One is casual employee, sir. These are the casual employee. Okay, color is blue. These are the casual employee, and we have another employee, sir. Permanent employee. Permanent employee, sir. Permanent employee. The color is what, sir? Let's say the color is red. Okay, so we have a casual employee with blue color, and we have a permanent employee. Listen the word very carefully. We have a casual employee and we have a what, permanent employee. Now these casual employees are temporarily employed. Okay, these casual employee, or you can say temporary employee, what the features they have, sir? Okay, what is the data they have, what is the data available? Okay, what is the data available for those employees? Look at what are the data available. So first data is what? Listen, the first data, second data, let's say third data, three data we have. What is the first data? The first data is what's our employee number. Employee number, the first data is what's our employee number. Employee number of what, these employee, even they are what, of course if they are temporarily employed, I mean, again we have employee number or not? Yes, employee number. Now what's her name? Okay, and now what's her address? Address, sir. EADDR, that is the address. That is the address for those employees. So employee number, employee name, and address. Okay, for what? For a temporary employee, sir, casual employee. Now, sir, for permanent employee, sir, for permanent employee, look at, for permanent employee we have what, sir? We have two things, sir. For permanent employee we have two things. What are those, sir? The first one is department. The first one is department, and the second one is what, sir? Designation. Department and designation. Department and what, sir? Designation. Okay, department and designation. Now you tell me, sir, these are my permanent employee. They are what, temporarily employee, sir. Okay, now just listen, sir. Of course, these are temporarily employee and these are what, permanent employee. These permanent employee must contain these features or not? Please write in the chat window. These permanent employee must contain these features or not? These features, permanent employee will also contain these features or not? Permanent employee has also e-name, employee number, name, and address. That means permanent employee is containing what, five features. Employee number, name, and address coming from what, employee class, that is the temporarily employee class, and its own feature is what, department and designation. Department and designation. Tell me, is it clear? You got the idea? Sir, employee number, employee name, address. These are the casual employee properties, and permanent employees, what, sir? Department and designation. On the basis of this one, let's say I want to develop one program. Okay, on the same concept, I want to develop one program. Okay, just look at, sir. So, sir, right click on SRC, new class. Let's say EMP demo. EMP demo. Yes, I need a main method. Yes, EMP demo. Now let's see. Here we have a main method. This is also program on single level inheritance, sir. Program on single level inheritance. single level inheritance. Program on single level inheritance. Let's see. So first what, sir? First we have PMP. That is casual employee. Correct or not? Yes, sir. Those are what? Casual employee. Casual employee. Now, what, sir? Let's say protected int employee number, protected string ename, and protected string EADDR. That is employee address. Okay. So protected int employee number, string employee name, string what, sir? EADDR. Correct or not? Yes. Okay. Possible. Now what I'm doing, sir? Sir, class PMP extends what, sir? Extends EMP. Class PMP extends what? EMP. Okay. I have just declared only the variables. Okay. And of course, these are what? Instance variable. Now we have what, sir? Class PMP extends what, sir? EMP. Class permanent employee extends what? EMP. Here what we have, sir? Here what we have, sir? Here let's say we have what? String department and string designation. String designation. Even those variables you can declare as what? Protected. So if anyone wants to inherit your permanent class in future, those can happily access what? These department and designation variables. Okay, so better to declare this protected. It is not required right now, but let's say in future, someone wants to inherit your permanent employee class. Some manager wants to inherit the permanent employee class. That time it would be helpful. That time it would be helpful. Now look at here we have, sir. Here we have what? Three instance variable. Here we have two instance variable. Total instance variable, sir. You remember instance variables are those variables which are declared inside a class outside of a method. Now, sir, what I want here, sir, look at these are the total five instance variables we have. Okay, all together. Sir, here I want to write a constructor, sir. Look at PEMP. This is constructor or not? Yes, this is constructor. Let's say I'm declaring as a what? Public PEMP. Now, what I'm doing, sir, I have total altogether we have five instance variable. I'm writing all those my instance variables inside this constructor. Look at int employee number, string employee name, string ADDR, EADDR, comma, string department, DEPT, and comma, string designation. Correct or not? Yes, correct. Okay. Sir, this one. Int employee number, string employee name, string ADDR, string department, string designation. This is what, sir, my parameterized constructor, sir. This is what my parameterized constructor. Correct or not? Yes, sir. Parameterized constructor. Okay. This is what parameterized constructor, sir. Parameterized constructor. It's int employee number, string ename, string ADDR, department, and the ignition. How to separate? You remember this keyword because instance variable, local variable both are same, sir. Instance variable, local variable both are same. Okay. So to separate this, we need what? This keyword. E dot this dot eno is equal to eno. This dot ename is equal to ename. This dot EADDR is equal to EADDR. This dot department, this dot DEPT is equal to DEPT. And finally, this dot DSI is equal to what, sir? DSI. Correct or not? Yes, correct. So all those instance variables and local variables are separated by using this keyword. Correct or not? So now JVM can easily recognize my instance variable and local variable. Now I have a method public void display. Public void display. Sir, sys out. Sir, employee number is. Sir, what is the employee number, sir? ENO, sir. Even here also you can use this keyword, no problem. Sys out. Okay, sir, employee employee name is sir e name sir plus e name. This is the employee name. Okay, correct or not? Yes sir. Now sir, employee number, name, address sir. Sir, what is the address? EADDR. Sir, employee department is. Sir, what is sir? DPT. And finally, employee designation is what sir? DSI. So this is, you can say we have a display method to display all the records of employee. To display all the records of employee. Correct or not? Yes sir. To display all the records of employee, we have display methods. Now the class is closed. Fine. Now, sir, of course, here also we will create the object for what? PEMP. Why? Because look at, in inheritance, we always create the object for more a specialized class. Okay, remember this point well. In inheritance, we always create the object for more a specialized class. So, which one is more specialized? PEMP. Okay, so here we need to create PMP. Now, the moment we will create PMP constructor, okay, of course, we have a parameterized constructor. Correct or not? We have a what's a parameterized constructor. Just look at. Sir, yes. Look at by default what? Zero, null, 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 null. Sir, employee number 111. Sir, what is the employee name, sir? What is the employee name? Sir, let's say employee name is Naresh. Okay. Then sir, employee name, employee address is what, sir? Hyderabad. Okay. Sir, department is what, sir? Computer. Sir, what is the designation, sir? Programmer. Okay, I have passed now. At the time of creating the object, I have passed each and every value or not? Yes, sir. This is employee number, employee name, address, department, and what is sir? Designation, sir. Then what we have said, display function. So what you can write, sir? P dot display. P dot display. Okay, that's all. Correct. You know, constructors are called at the time of creating the object. Look at PMP, P is equal to new PMP at the time of creating the object. Okay, constructors are called, of course. So this ENO, which is a local variable, will receive the value 111. This name will receive the value of Naresh. This EADDR will receive the value of Hyderabad. This department will receive the value computer, and designation will receive programmer. Correct or not? And these local variables we are initializing with what? Instance variable, as I told you. Now when you run this one, look at what you are getting. Yes, sir. Look at. Employee number is 111. Employee name is what? Naresh. Employee address is Hyderabad. Employee department designation. So I hope you got it. So this is the first program you can see on single level inheritance. Okay, with real time examples, sir. Now better to take this screenshot. And if you have any doubt, please chat. Please take the screenshot up to line number 13, sir. Up to line number 13, please take the screenshot. In line number 13, we have a parameterized constructor, sir. Now, please take the screenshot up to line number 13. Now, moving ahead. Okay, here is line number 13. So, take the screenshot line number up to 25, 13 to 25, sir. Line number 13 to 25. Now, yes, 25 to 36. Okay, wait. We have one more process. Yeah, 25 to 37, in fact. Is it clear, all of you? Just write in the chat window. You are getting everything, or if you have any question, feel free to ask. No problem. You are getting everything. Just chat in the write in the chat window, so I can confirm. So I can move to the another concept, sir. Like that, you can create a number of programs, sir. Okay, you can create a number of various programs. Okay, by using the same concept. Please write in the chat window so I can move ahead. Yeah, I can see some messages. Okay, fine. That's fine, Nilesh. Okay. Now let's see, sir, one more thing one more concept I want to give you here. Look at, sir, here, look at, we have altogether we have three classes, sir. Class EMP, class PEMP, and what's sir? Class EMP demo. Okay, class EMP demo. What are the classes, sir? EMP, okay, PMP, and what? EMP demo. Correct or not? Yes, sir. These are the three classes we have, sir. These are the three classes. EMP, we have EMP, we have what? PMP, and then what we have, sir? EMP demo. Finally, what we have, sir? EMP demo, sir. EMP demo. EMP demo. Sir, listen very carefully. EMP demo. Sir, these classes are what, sir? These classes are BLC, sir. These classes are what, sir? Up to here. These are BLC, sir. Business logic class. These classes are what, sir? BLC. Business logic class. Correct or not? Business logic class. Okay, business logic class. What about this EMP demo, sir? This EMP demo is what? ELC. What it is, sir? ELC. Executable logic class. Executable logic class. Okay, what about this ELC, sir? Executable logic class. Why? Because your execution of the program starts from what, sir? EMP demo. Now, listen, sir. Can you declare these classes as public? If we declare EMP class or PMP class as public, then what will happen? Let's see. By default, our which class is declared as public, sir? EMP demo. EMP demo is class is declared as public. Let's say if I want to declare this class as public, what will happen? Look at compilation error, sir. Look at. So the moment you are declaring this class as a public, look, compilation error, sir. The public type EMP must be defined its own file. Sir, you can't declare this class as a public, sir. Look at, you can't declare this class as a public. Okay, it's not possible to declare this class as a public. Okay, here also, if you want to declare public, again you will get a compilation error. Listen this point very well, sir. Look at, the public type PMP must be defined its own file. What it is saying, sir, what it is saying, listen, what it is telling, sir, it is telling that if you declare this class as a public, then this must be your file name, pmp.java. This must be your file name, pmp.java. If you're declaring this emp class as a public, this must be your file name, emp.java. Okay, but look at here, we have public or not? Yes. Why public, sir? Why? Because we have this file name is what? empdemo.java. Empdemo.java. Okay, this is my file name. This is my file name, empdemo.java. So you can declare the class as public. You can declare only those classes as what? Public, which is having what? File name, which is having what? File name. Let's say I'm going to take another class. Okay, now there is a controversy, sir. A lot of the uh, students are telling, sir, it should contain main method, then only we can declare the class as a what? Public. Okay, no, 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 not such thing, sir. Let's say I'm going to declare one class, tester. Okay, just let's see some test class, sir. Tester. Okay, tester. And I'm not taking any main method. I'm just clicking on this finish button. Okay, look at this class is what? Public class tester. Sir, it is not containing any main method, sir. And it is not generating any error. Look at, it is not generating any error, sir. Happily, you can declare a class as what? Test without main method. only it should be a file name. Okay, what file name? Test.java. Now if you remove public from here and if you put private, suddenly you will get a compilation error. Look, now it is a compilation error, sir. Private modifier is not allowed here. Okay, look, sir, remove invalid modifiers. Remove invalid modifiers. It is telling you illegal modifiers. Illegal modifier for the class test, only public, abstract and final are permitted, sir. You can only declare a class as what, sir? Public, abstract and final. You can only declare a class as what, sir? Public, abstract and final. Okay, public, abstract and final. Okay, even protected is not possible, sir. Even protected is also not possible. Okay, remember this point well. So you can only declare a class as a WhatsApp public, abstract, and final. Public, abstract, and final. Okay. Okay. Public, abstract, and final. So don't go in a confusion. Only keep in your mind one very simple thing. Sir, I can declare a class as a public if the class is having file name. If the class is a file name, I can declare those classes as a public. Okay, now let's see. Sir, what is next, sir? Let's say we have created one program on what? Single level inheritance. Now I want to create one program on multi-level inheritance. Okay, what is multi-level inheritance, sir? Multi-level inheritance, we have more than two classes, sir. Okay, how to create multi-level program? Look at. Again, I'm showing you one example for better clarity. Sir, let's say program on what, sir? Program on multi-level inheritance, sir. Program on multi-level inheritance. Let's say there is a student of class 12. Okay, there is a student of class 12. So once it is a student of class 12, once it is a student of class 12, it is a very general, sir. It is a very general. Even if you see, if you look at my, if you visit my last video, I have given you one example there, generalization to specialization. It is a very general cluster. Why? Because you don't have any idea that whether this student is belonging from science background, arts background, or commerce background. Okay. It is a general student, sir. Student means what? Student means what, sir? We can't say here whether this student is belonging from science background, commerce background, or arts background. It is simple general 12th class student. Sir, once it is a 12th class student, we have to define all the properties which are general property for all the students. Listen this point very well. This is how we are designing the classes in inheritance. Sir, we can't write here, sir, we can't write here into physics. It's not possible, sir. It is not the general property, sir. It is not the general property. General property means what? The properties. We should write such kind of properties which will be applicable to all kind of a student, whether it belongs to science background, commerce background, or arts background. This is how we are designing the classes. This is how we are designing the classes while using the inheritancer. Listen this point very well. Think and analyze. So what I can write here, sir? I can write here student number. Why? Because this student number must be common for all students, whether the student will belongs to science, commerce and arts. Now, can we write student name? Yes, yes, no problem. Sir, fees, can we write fees? Yes, fees is a common for all. Yes, no problem. Okay, so student, one class is there. Now, little bit specific class. Sir, what is the next class name? Science. Once it is a science class, once it is a science class, okay, once the class name is science, that means what is the general property for science? Okay, again we have two categories in science, bioscience and pure science. So what is the general property I can write, sir? Sir, the two general property we can write the name of the subject. What, sir? Let's say physics and chemistry, whether the student is belonging from pure science or bioscience. Okay, compulsory these two subjects are available, physics and chemistry. Okay, correct or not? Yes, correct. Now what is the next category, sir? Next category is PCM, physics, chemistry, math, pure science student. Pure science student. So of course, when it is pure science student, of course, if it is a pure science student, then what, sir? If it is a pure science student, then here what, sir? Here we have what? Mathematics as a paper. So this is the structure of program, sir. This is the structure of the program. You can see we have three classes. The first class is student. All the students, it is explaining, it is describing all the generic properties, all the generic properties which we can use in all the student, whether it is science, commerce or arts. Now this is for what? Science specific, and finally it is what? PCM, physics, chemistry, math. Okay. So three classes we have. Let's design three classes. Okay. What is the structure, sir? Let's say. So right click on SRC, new class. Let's say student demo. What is the name of the class? Student demo. Student demo. Sir, I need a main method. Finish. Look, the moment you click finish, okay, automatically this class is what's up public. Okay, you need not to define explicitly. Automatically this class is what's up public. Correct or not? Yes, sir, public. Now here, let me write the code. So what is the first class, sir? The first class is student. Class student. Okay. Now directly I am writing without any public protected. Okay. Okay. Directly you can write student. Student number. Now what's a string? Student name, float or double, or take float. Float fees. Okay, knowingly I'm taking float fees, so you can remember those points. Whenever we initialize the float value, we have to suffix with what? We have to suffix with a small f or capital F. I hope you remember. Okay, I hope you remember. Now, sir, let's say another one. What's a class science? Class science extends student, sir. Extends student. So it will inherit all the properties of what? It will inherit all the properties of student. Sir, one more thing here I want to say you, sir. If we are not declaring any access modifier, private, protected, default, public, okay, then it is not by default private, sir. Okay, it is not by default private. By default, it is default, sir. By default, it is default. Okay, by default, it is default. After inheritance, I will give you the idea of what access modifier. Why? Because to learn access modifier, inheritance is compulsory. Okay, so it is not by default private, sir. It is what? By default it is default. That means it is visible in the science class. It is visible in the science class. Now here what here, sir, into physics comma chemistry. Okay, into physics comma chemistry. Nice. Now we have another class PCM, physics chemistry math. PCM, physics chemistry math extends science. Extends science. Okay, this is the general structure. Okay, now here inside this PCM I have which subjects are math. Okay, now if you want to take a constructor in PCM, you can take. Even if you want to take a method, you can take whatever you want. Okay, better to take constructor. The things becomes easy. Now, inside this constructor, the same. Even you can take default constructor, sir, no problem. Even you can take parameterized constructor, whatever your choice. If you're taking, let's say, default constructor, of course, you have to initialize all the instance variable. Okay, because all the instance variables are present in what's a PCM class. These three science class has total what? Five properties. Science class has total five properties. These three properties are coming from superclass, and these two are what? Its own properties, science class own properties. So what, sir? From student class we have three, and from science class we have two. Altogether we have five. Now PCM is extending science. Science means it is inheriting all those five properties from science class plus one property its own. That means PCM class has totally what? Six properties. So let's say initialize the value. So first what? SNO is equal to, let's say, 222. Look at next, S name, fees, physics, chemistry, and math. Sir, S name is what, sir? S name is equal to, let's say, Virat. Now, fees. Look at fees, sir. Fees 12,900. Okay, if I'm writing, it is okay or not? Yes, it is okay, sir. It is integral literal, sir. And integral literal we can assign to floating point literal. But if you're writing something like that in a decimal, now it's not okay, sir. Now it's not okay by because all decimal points are by default what? Double. All floating point literals are the default type of floating point literals are what's a double. So compulsory we need to write what? F as a what? Suffix. So yes, sir, fees is completed. What is, sir? Student number, name, and fees. Student number, name, and fees. Now physics is equal to, let's say, 78. The marks of physics, sir. Sir, marks of chemistry, sir. Chemistry is equal to, let's say, what? 89. Sir, math, it's 91. Yes. All variables are initialized. You can initialize by this way. You can initialize by what? Parameterize. Even you can take the value from the user as well by using scanner class. All the options are open, sir. All the options are open. You can directly initialize those values. You can take from the what? Parameterized constructor. Even you can take from the scanner class from user. Okay. Now once these values are initialized, now public void show. Very soon, let me write down sys out student number is. What's the student number is SLO. Correct or not? Yes. Now you copy this one five times. One, two, three, four, five. The student name is. So what is, sir? Look at S name. S name. Sir, student fees is. Sir, fees. Sir, student physics marks is. Sir, what we have, sir? Physics. Student chemistry. CHE. And finally, what is student maths marks is. Math marks it. So, sir, math. Correct or not? Yes, correct, sir. Yes, fine, sir. Fine, sir. Okay, look at fine. We have a constructor. Correct. We have a constructor, and inside this constructor, default constructor, I have initialized by my own values, my own choice, and so is used to what? Display. Okay, display. Okay. Now, total three classes: student, science, and PCM. More specialized class is what, sir? PCM. PCM is the more specialized class. So, what I can do? PCM. P is equal to what? New PCM. Yes. And then what's a P dot? P dot so. P dot so. Correct or not? Yes, P dot so. That's all, sir. Now, when you run this, look what you are getting. Sir, student number is 222. Student name is Virat. Student fees is something. Student physics marks is this one, chemistry marks is this one, math marks is this one. Let's suppose it is working fine, no problem. Okay. Now let's suppose, sir, after some time you need to calculate the student marks. You need to calculate the total marks of a student. You need to calculate the total marks of the student. What you can do, sir? Look at, sir, calculating the total marks. So calculating the total marks. Calculating what's a total marks. Sir, what I can do, sir? Public void result. Public void what's a result? Okay, public void result. Now what I can do, sir? Public void result, sir. What I can do, sir? Sir, I can write int total is equal to sir, physics plus chemistry plus what, sir? Math. Okay, after developing this program, this feature I want to add. This feature I want to add. Okay. Now, sir, okay, not this way. This out. This out. Total marks is total marks is on the basis of this total marks. If you want to find out the average, you can find, sir, no problem. Plus what? Total. Yes, correct or not? So total marks is what? Plus total. Now you have to call this result function from here, sir. You have to call this result function from here. P dot what? Result. P dot result. Now when you run this, look, the student number is 222. Name is Virat. Fees is this one. Physics, chemistry, math. Total marks is what? 258. So this is one extra module. Okay. This is one extra module according to the requirement of the client. After successful compilation and execution, We have a requirement, sir. We have a requirement. What is the requirement, sir? We have a requirement to add what? The total marks. I have to find out what? The subject marks. So, of course, we have what? Total variable. So, now you can take the screenshot of this program. Sir, line number 1 to line number 16, sir. Line number 1 to line number 16. Are you getting? Am I audible, guys? Yeah, fine, fine. So, you have seen the program, right? While taking the screenshot, the network lost, right? Yeah, yeah. Please take the screenshot. So, line number 1 to line number 17. Okay, wait. Oh, you become the ghost actually. Okay, Nilesh, give me the option. Actually, you are the host actually. Make me host. Can you hear me? Yeah, fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fine. Now. Screen is visible now? Yeah, please take the screenshot. Please take the screenshot up to line number 16. Up to line number 16. Now, moving, sir. Line number 16 to line number 31. Line number 16 to line number 31. Line number 16 to line number 31. Moving, sir. Wait. Please wait. Okay, now you take the line number 31 to line number 46. 31 to 46. Done? Okay. I don't think you have any doubts. So this is a big program, sir. That's why I have just typed this program. Okay. So next class we will see more about this inheritance. Thank you all of you.